your girl has gotten a new hairdo. She has started her micro lock journey. She's about a week in. She's thriving. I did have traditional locks before years ago, but I started over with micro locks. But this is not a hair video. This is a music platform where we talk about all things R&B. But anyway, so let's talk about what I want to talk about. So a few weeks ago, I attended a Bible discourse, and I totally forget the name of the discourse, but in this discourse, it was said that everything in the secular world can have a spiritual lesson, something to that effect. But I think that's what was said. And especially when you are thinking, and I think they went on to say like maybe movies and music, especially music though, for sure. But hang tight, we getting there. And especially just thinking about life, when you have experiences and you make mistakes and you start over and you try not to repeat the same mistake again, so that's life is an experience in with itself. But I truly believe that when you listen to older people of wisdom that have been through similar situation can give you insight on the outcome that you don't necessarily have to go through that experience to learn. I would much rather have someone give me wisdom and insight and understanding to help me see the possible outcome given my situation, because who wants to go down a path when someone's telling you like, hey, you might not want to do this. Let's think of another route to avoid, heartache or whatever bad outcome that could happen. So when they made that statement, though, I immediately thought of a song. I'm always thinking about music. Um, and the first song that came into my head was a song of Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time. So, for those of you who may not know who Cyndi Lauper is, she is an artist. Obviously, she did Time After Time. She did Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She also had a part in We Are the World. And when I first seen and heard her voice in We Are the World, um, to me, that was a very, I don't know, it was so emotional because her voice was very raspy. She was just who she was as a singer. Listening to all of her other songs that she made, she was very colorful, very loud, just who she is, it seems like. So she just put into her songs who she is as an artist. So I just love that about her. So not only did Cyndi Lauper record the song, also the artist by the name of Little Mo recorded this song as well. And I know a lot of people are familiar with Little Mo. Like, she is one of the best vocalists, in my opinion, in my book. And when she redid this song, it immediately had a different feel to it. It felt very warm. It was very speaking. It was colorful as well, and very much spiritual. It had a very much spiritual undertone to it, because at the end of the song, she went completely gospel. And so I always think it's so artful when two different artists from two different genres can sing the same song and they have completely different meanings. Okay, so I want to dissect this song, Time After Time, the version by Little Mo. So immediately when I listen to this song and listen and sit with it, it reminds me of the parable in the Bible, the prodigal son. I say that because in the parable, if you're familiar with it, it's about a son who leaves his family, who comes from, a spiritual family, and he basically just squanders his life out in the world, and he just does, whatever it is that he pleases, that he wants to do. But then after a while, he does come back, and his father is waiting at the top or somewhere in the distance and sees his son coming back and welcomes him with open arms. In fact, he actually meets his son halfway to embrace him and give him a hug to welcome him back. Um, so that parable helps us to see that when you have a relationship with God, um, and you make mistakes, we're all imperfect. We're all going to do something to put a strain on our relationship with our Creator. But He's forgiving, and we don't want to take that for granted either. But He's forgiving. So it's the song to me speaks of our Creator wanting us to come back. And so the first line of the song, she goes, lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. Caught up in circles, confusion is nothing new. Flashbacks, warm nights, almost left behind. A suitcase of memories, time after time. Not too much on my voice. I'm just raw singing here. So when I hear that line, I think of, in this moment, you're an adult. You have adult things happening in your life. You're making adult decisions. And sometimes you can feel caught up in a state of confusion, not knowing where to go, left or right, up or down, like just in a state of basically going, making decisions, not really thinking too much about it. And it can all be overwhelming. It can all be, um, confusing. And the part where she says flashbacks, warm nights, almost left behind, I think about when you are a child. You're in the comforts of your mom and dad home, or, if you had that healthy relationship, but you're in the comforts of a home. You don't have any worries. It's a simple life. You're a kid. You don't have much worries. So that comfort is something that when I hear that song, that's what I envision. Someone as an adult thinking back to a simpler time, lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you. So it could just be someone laying down, after an adult laying down after 4 days of work, making decisions, just doing whatever, just kind of in the world, just existing, not having any real sense of direction. Um, and they're reflecting at the end of the day, they're reflecting on, a simpler time in life when they were younger. That was comfort to them. That was a warm night left behind because that's in the past. And so the next part of it, she says, sometimes you'll picture me. I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you said. Then you said, go slow. I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. And so in that line, that to me sounds like, you trying to make decisions and you don't know which way to go. Sometimes you picture me, I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you said. Then you said, go slow. I fall behind. Again, the scripture that I think about is Isaiah 30:21. It says, and your own ears will hear the word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it, in case you should go to the right, or in case you should go to the left. So so again, it's just, being able to hear the voice of our creator, being quiet enough to hear the direction that he's telling us to go when we just really don't know what to do with ourselves. And then she goes, if you're lost and you look and you will find me, time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting time after time. If you're lost and you look and you will find me time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting time after time. I love that chorus. It's just something about that chorus that I just love so much. Like I can never get enough of that chorus ever. But so the chorus reminds me of a scripture in the Bible, Acts 17:27. And it says, so that they would seek God, if they might grope for him and really find him, although in fact he is not far off from each one of us. So when I think of that chorus, if you're lost, if you look, then you will find me time after time. I think of that scripture. You know, I think a lot of times, trying to navigate this world, we, want to get the best job. We want to make sure that we have a nice car. We want to make sure that we provide for our families. And it's nothing wrong with those things because we need to survive. We need to take care of our families. All of those things are great. But sometimes I think that what's missing is that relationship with our creator, because once we have that, then you can build everything else around it. Um, Having that relationship allows you to make and navigate life and make decisions based off that relationship, based off our creator's thinking. What would he want for you? So I love that song, and when I hear the chorus, that's one of the scriptures that I don't know. The more that I kind of listen to it and kind of dissect this song, I love it that much more. But the next part, she says, after my picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum beats out of time. And then she goes back into the chorus. So the one thing I think I wanted to make mention is that I think a lot of people have a misconception about our creator and what he wants for us. A lot of times, they think that our creator is the cause of a lot of the heartaches and things that we go through. And sometimes, not to sometimes a lot of the things that we go through is just our own decisions that we make, you know. And I say that because there is a scripture that I love so much. It's one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible that brings me so much clarity and understanding, especially when I'm thinking about this song, particularly the couple of lines that says, watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. So the scripture that I thought of here is at Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, for I will know the thoughts that I am thinking towards you, declares Jehovah. Thoughts of peace and not of calamity, to give you a future and a hope. I love that scripture so much. Just to know that our Creator wants us to be in peace. He wants to give us a hope. He wants to give us a future. That brings me so much comfort. And to me, it gives me so much more clarity to know, to really honestly, just to really continue to develop that relationship with my creator, just so I can get his thinking on more things. not even trying to get too spiritual and too religious. I mean, this is a R&B channel, but I just could not help, honestly, I really couldn't help myself when I came across this song, because I'm always thinking about music. I'm always thinking about how, this can relate to something, and it's always random. But this topic just happens to spring from, like I said, a Bible discourse. And I immediately thought of this song. I could not help myself. I just had to kind of develop this and see what happens and put it out there. So yes, this song, specifically Little Mo's version, time after time, I just really adore this song so much. Um, because like I said, it speaks very much spiritual to me. And I mean, why not talk about it? I also found out that, and I didn't even know this, that I knew that Barry Manilow redid this song. Also, Boys to Men redid this song too. Go and listen to both of those versions. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I love Little Mo's version better, just simply because I relate to her sound more. I mean, and if it wasn't for Cyndi Lauper, I don't. We probably wouldn't have the many different renditions that we do. And shout out to her as well for writing these lyrics. She co-wrote it with. I can't even think of the guy's name off the top of my head, but they co-wrote it together. And that her writing these lyrics stem from, just a relationship, just trying to um, continue to be with someone, long distance or what have you. But that was her version of it, her meaning of it. And Little Mo's version is very much, like I said, spiritual and gospel in that way. But like I said, yeah, Barry Manilow and Boys to Men redid it. So yeah, just go listen to those versions and let me know what y'all think. Um, Particularly, I want to know what version y'all like the best, Cyndi Lauper's or Little Mo. I mean, I know it's probably a no brainer, but let me tell y'all, Cyndi Lauper's version is so much top tier. Like I do love her version just for the simple fact of that relationship aspect and just really wanting to be with someone time after time. I do love it so much for that reason, and I do relate to that version too. But it's something also about Little Mo's version that just takes it up a new level. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments, like and subscribe, and I will